Hi, welcome back to Waxing On. Monday, just want to say, hope all you dads out there had a great Father's Day. And now we're getting into festival season. End of this week, kicking off the Ottawa International Jazz Festival. So we're kind of doing a twofer this week. We're going to cover a certain style of music, as well as introduce you to some of the players that are going to be at the festival this year in case you want to get out and check them out. First one today, Stephen Bernstein from New York City, slide trumpet player. And you don't see a lot of slide trumpet players. I mean, that's one of the things that really caught my eye the first time I'd seen a story on him. It was just a whole different kind of playing, and it was interesting to hear. Now, the album I picked up as a result of that was this one called Sex Mob Does Bond. And yes, we're featuring the music of James Bond this week, the films, the composers, the interpreters. It's just an iconic music that kind of represents our whole era. And it's funny how they've come back. Bernstein's album here in early 2000s, Revisiting Bond, another band we're going to look at on Wednesday, currently doing Bond tributes. The music just lives on. And that's been, since the early 1960s. So we're talking almost 60 years, man. This music's been around and we've been enjoying it. Anyways, let's get back to Bernstein. Sex Mob album is just one of the groups he belongs to. It's a small group he plays in. He's got a larger group called the Millennial Territorial Band, 9-piece group. That's what he's touring with this summer. That's what he's going to bring to the Ottawa Jazz Festival. And if anybody's interested in checking it out, or if you're familiar with Stephen's music, or you're just curious about what he does, or maybe you're just curious about that slide trumpet playing, he's going to be at the National Arts Centre in Ottawa, June 26, 7:30 p.m. Tickets for that run $45 in service charges, so you're looking just a little over $48 for the show. And the beauty of this one is there's a lot of shows on that day. He's doing the 7:30 set, 8:30 at the park right next door to him. It's Al Di Meola doing his Electric Ears concert. So pretty good double header on the 26th. So if you get a chance, check it out. Tickets online. Look at Ottawa International Jazz Festival to find them. Or you can sometimes pick some of them up even at the venue. Now, this one is a little different. Tickets are up for sale. It's at the Arts Centre, but it's not reserved seating. So first come, first served kind of thing. And they sometimes do sell out at these. And again, you need to get there early if you want to get the best seats. Let's get back to today's album. We talked about this one quite a while ago. Sex Mob Does Bond. And what they've done is they've taken a number of different Bond tunes. Stephen's arranged them all, and they've put them together in an imaginary film of their own. 4-piece group on this. I'll give you some idea who's playing on here. We got Stephen Bernstein on slide trumpet. On saxophones, we got Brigitte Krause. We got Tony Scher on bass, and Kenny Wallison on drums. John Medeski also playing organ on here. This was recorded back in 2001. On 2 days. Boy, that was pretty good. Recorded April 2nd and 3rd. 2 days to put the album together. So that lets you know the kind of band we're dealing with. Not a lot of retakes, not a lot of work, not months in the studio putting this together. Now, a lot of the songs on this were taken from movies that John Barry composed the soundtrack for. Goldfinger, Majesty's Secret Service, From Russia with Love, Spy Who Loved Me, and You Only Live Twice. Now, you may recognize those titles, not often as much when you recognize the titles of the song. When you're listening to the soundtrack, you say, yeah, I recognize that one, because that James Bond theme keeps reoccurring, or 007 keeps reoccurring, and you hear it. But a lot of them are kind of not really tied in with their titles. But I'll give you some idea what the titles were on this, in case you do know. We've got Teasing the Korean, This Never Happened to the Other Feller, 007, The Battle of Piaz Gloria, You Only Live Twice, Bond with Bongos, Odd Job's Pressing Engagement. Well, I know right off that's got to be Goldfinger with Odd Job in there, right? Bond Back in Action Again, Over and Out, and Raid at Fort Knox. And then the closing credits, they bring in Marvin Hamlish's Nobody Does It Better. Stevens also composed one of the tunes, Dr. Yes, that opens and closes our little production here. But it's amazing, again, this is 2001, 40-some years later, he's still putting out the great music of John Barry, the great music from the James Bond films. Want to get a chance to check him out? Don't forget, 26, National Arts Center, 7:30. It's going to be an interesting band. I mean, you're not going to get a chance to see him very often. First, that I'm really aware of him even being in this area or doing much touring outside of the U.S., so certainly something to kind of put on your calendar. So that's it for today. Kicking off James Bond Week with Sex Mob Does Bond, and kicking off the International Jazz Festival with Stephen Bernstein. Join us on Wednesday. We've got another great feature, another great band that's going to be at the festival, and another great Bond album you might want to check out, as well as live performances. Till then, take care, stay safe. See you on Wednesday.